Hi, I'm Jessica from Jessica Wonders, and this is week number 8 of my no spend, low spend pantry challenge I've been doing for 2 months now, where I feed 2 people, myself and my husband, out of food that I have in my freezers, from my main pantry and in my fridges. If you're new here, I'll leave a link up here to the first pantry video tour that explains what foods I'm trying to use up, giving an idea of where I started. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. And you can always check out the join button if you want to become a member, help support my channel and get a few little extra perks. Let's see what I got cooking this week. It's getting pretty low in the pantry. Good morning. This morning I'm going to make more whole wheat bread. So this bread that I make in the bread machine uses up 3 3/4 cups of flour. I still have lots of flour left. We'll make some bread for sandwiches. It might not be the most creative thing to do. We are gonna have smoothies for breakfast. I'm gonna try these mango chunks in there. It's gonna be a real fruit smoothie. These strawberries are gonna go. I'm gonna put ground cherries, mangoes, strawberries, and use a bunch of this apple juice up. Ground cherries. This looks like it's gonna be really thick. There's gonna be a lot of it. Just a little bit left over. I mean, it's just fruit mostly. If I had yogurt, I would put it in there, or you could put honey in there. I don't mind it for breakfast. I have 2 hams in this house. This is a smoked ham butt portion. It is frozen. I'm not planning on having any big party. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to cook it at 325 from frozen until it's heated through, and then I can divide it up into packages for use, because I don't need a great big ham right now, but I would like some ham. Maybe it seems like I have a whole lot of food, but when so many things with COVID didn't happen, and family gatherings and family dinners didn't happen, so hence I have 2 hams and a turkey and stuff that was supposed to get eaten over the fall holidays. It just didn't get eaten. Put a lid on it as well. And into the oven. So I've got some more small potatoes from downstairs. I'm gonna do up some carrots. Just gonna roast some potatoes and carrots in the oven to go with the ham. Got this can of molasses and pork beans to go with it as well. And we can have bread if we like. I have some steak spice or something like that. Montreal steak spice kind of mix. I suspect that this is some kind of steak spice that I mixed up based on what it smells like. Sometimes I make my own spice blends and I don't always label them. That looks and smells really wonderful. There we go. It's pretty ready. A little over ready, but it looks pretty good. I didn't put any glaze or anything on it because I want to be able to use the ham in different recipes with different flavorings. So we sliced up all the ham. We can divide it into smaller packages and freeze it. We can use some for dinner. I've got the ham bone to go in the freezer and just some little bits that I might use for soup or something. There's so many mustards in here. There's honey mustard, this Dijon mustard, and these are just regular yellow mustards. Honey Dijon maybe mix. And these very nice vegetables. All the mustard. And we've got this can of beans for beans. That's the last can of beans in the pantry. Super excited about using that up. Aha. And some fresh bread from the bread maker. to dip in those beans. Got some other stuff up from the main pantry. We got pickled hot peppers and then these dill spears because pickles go with ham and mustard. This dinner tonight, using up whole wheat flour, this can of beans, and trying still to use up the various types of mustards that I have in the fridge. Those potatoes turned out just fine, even if we don't know exactly what the spice blend was. Bread is nice and moist and good. And I'm happy to use up the last can of beans. Everything is thumbs up. Oh, and of course, it's a long weekend here. I totally forgot. Family day, statutory holiday long weekend. So it's kind of like a Sunday dinner long weekend meal, a ham. Good morning. This morning I am going to do up a batch of blueberry scones, like a drop kind of scone type thing. I'm going to use whole wheat flour, but I'm probably going to use some all-purpose flour as well, kind of mix them together. I'm going to use milk, 1 egg, and that means I only have 1 egg left. Some sugar, butter, baking powder, and about 2 cups of these wonderful blueberries. They are not been in the freezer forever. Those are just my last year's frozen blueberries. I wrote this out a long time ago. Yeah, the only thing I'm gonna do different is I'm not gonna use 3 cups of unbleached flour. I'll probably use like half and half, and I'm also not gonna use margarine, I'm gonna use butter instead. But that's my recipe. Need 3/4 of a cup of butter, which is about 180 milliliters. Close enough. Half a cup of sugar. A heaping tablespoon of baking powder is pretty vague, but there we go. Yeah, they're done. So I think maybe they don't look perfect, but they're super fast and super easy to make and very yummy. I am just gonna put some butter, just let them cool off for a quick second. These are so full of blueberries. It's so awesome. And they're quite big. Where's one from Mr. Wonders? This is the biggest one maybe. Nice and brown on the bottom. This might be why I don't do so much baking, because I will just eat this right up. This is pretty good. Where's my tea? It's a little bit different with the whole wheat flour, but it's not bad at all. It's a little crumblier, maybe. I don't know if it's because of the flour, but it's a little more crumbly than I am used to it being. That is gorgeous. So easy, so fast. I mean, I did dirty a lot of dishes, but other than that, it's perfect for breakfast. Okay, for dinner, we're gonna have some more ham, and I'm gonna do up these sidekicks for tonight as a side. for the ham sidekicks, and then just some mixed veggies. I'm gonna keep using up these different mustards. This one still has quite a bit, but this one I think is almost gone, so that's awesome. And then we've got pickles, hot pickled peppers. I feel like we're really getting towards the end. This is my absolute last thing of sidekicks that I wanted to use up. Country mushroom. It's been a long journey, sidekicks. I feel like there's been so many of you in 2 months. I've been enjoying them more than I normally would, and I came up with some new recipes, so I think that I probably might even buy some more. Actually, on second thought, I don't feel like the mustard and pickles and stuff. I think I want applesauce. This is my applesauce from just this last year, and I kind of want something sweet on my ham. My applesauce is pretty runny, but the taste tastes really good. Well, it doesn't look too bad. Sometimes I like it a little thicker and chunkier. This one got really smooth. Oh, more applesauce is always better. As we know, I have a lot of beans. I am going to rinse these, and then I am going to boil them for like an hour and then rinse them again. You know, make beans. I'm going to soak about 2 cups of beans overnight in the fridge. Hello, I am going to try to make this very interesting suggestion from Betty Graham for a mousse or crush with this jello. I got jello, and I found some fancy dessert glasses that I never ever used for anything ever. And we're gonna try and put it in here. I've got some sugar, some strawberry jam, and I have chilled 1 can of this evaporated milk in the fridge. I'm gonna use about a cup of that. It's gonna be really risky because I tend to over whip things in my KitchenAid mixer, but I'm gonna try to whip a cup of this. I'm gonna make this jello. Yeah, I'll post a link to the recipe below that I'm trying to follow. And then strawberry jam gets whipped up in there too. It's all very interesting. It's like a jello mousse. I'm sure it's going to be amazing. And some sugar. Let's give it a try. I hope this isn't too much jello because it says dissolve it in a 1/2 cup of boiling water and a 1/2 cup of ice cold water. And on this package, it says 1 cup of hot boiling water and 1 cup of cold water. But I'm just gonna follow the instructions on the recipe. I'm sure it's supposed to be a little thicker. And 1/2 cup of ice water. And then we're just gonna set it aside while we do some whipping. This jello is not the best at dissolving. Okay, now this part that I'm worried about. 1 cup of the evaporated milk. That's 1 cup. I've never actually tried to like whip evaporated milk, so this is new and fun. If it works, it'll be fun. See how it goes. Very bad at knowing when this is done. But there are some peaks, but I don't think they're stiff peaks, so. I'm gonna add the sugar, tablespoons of sugar. I got all flustery. I'm supposed to add the jello first before the sugar, but I only added 1 tablespoon of the sugar. We're gonna add the jello really slowly whilst beating continuously. That's what's gonna happen. I don't know. It's gonna be amazing or messy. One of the 2. Yeah, messy. Then we're just gonna beat it for 5 minutes, and I already set the timer. So we'll see what happens. That's what it's starting to look like. It says scrape down the sides every once in a while, so that's what I'm doing. But it's looking pretty good. Like I want to eat the whole bowl. Okay, Betty Graham, this is absolutely looking like the best thing ever invented. I'm not sure what else I'm gonna put it in, but this is where we're gonna start. It looks so yummy. Really, like, I'm never gonna make Jello again. It's just gonna be this stuff. How amazing is this? And it's gorgeous. It's so light and fluffy. Oh, these are so cute. I'm gonna find some other containers. I put these in the fridge right away just so that they firm up. They're so cute. What I always have is lots of little jars. So I'm gonna fill some more little jars with the rest of this carefully, and I'll show you when I'm done. Hey, I did all these ones too. I mean, they're not as pretty, I don't think. I'm gonna get them right into the fridge, and I'm gonna eat this one right away. I think this is a hit. It looks so cool. I really gotta get this into the fridge, but I wanted to say thank you so much, Betty Graham, for this amazing suggestion. I think this is gonna be something that I make all the time. So that's mousse or crush. You used up 1 box of Jello and almost a whole can of evaporated milk. Also, my husband is gonna think that this is super cool. He gets to eat all this stuff. Ah, we're gaining so much weight, but this is fun. Okay, they sat in the fridge for a couple hours. And now I'm gonna eat it. Oh, yeah, that looks super cool. Oh, it's like super fluffy and it just melts in your mouth. This is a yummy dessert. Pretty easy to make, except for it makes your entire kitchen sticky. Just saying, or maybe that's just me. Amazing suggestion from Betty Graham. And the strawberry jam in there leaves little bits of strawberry in it. Yeah, thumbs up from me. We're gonna do up some ham sandwiches. I don't have any cheese, so it'll be like ham and pickle. I've got this, I think we can use up the rest of this Dijon, and maybe put some Thousand Island. Would that be good on it? Maybe. And then I've got these sprouts that are still in the fridge, and I tasted them and they taste fine, so I'm gonna use up those from the fridge today, and then my lunch tomorrow and my husband's lunch for work tomorrow. Yeah, the Thousand Island in the fridge is all used up. Okay, that is definitely the end of this Dijon mustard. There are the amazing sandwiches. 2 sandwiches. I did soak these 2 cups of beans, I think it was, overnight, and now I'm gonna cook them until they're tender. When I'm cooking beans, it takes so long that I like to do a whole bunch, and then I can always just freeze the beans, and then they're ready to put in anything that I want to use them for. Good morning. I was just gonna take a picture, but I thought I'd share that my breakfasts this week are looking fabulous. I'm really enjoying this whole thing, and my blueberry scones, all this for breakfast, super yummy. I have all these hard neck garlics. I grew a lot last year. I'm gonna go through them, break off the cloves, and then throw them in freezer bags in the freezer. It does change the texture of the garlic a little bit. I'll probably keep some out to use. So I did all those hard neck garlics and broke them into cloves. I'm gonna throw these in the freezer, and these ones, the skins just kind of fell off of, and I'm gonna use these ones right away. So I've packaged up some small packages of ham for the freezer, 200 grams, 300 grams, and this is just kind of chips of it, little tiny pieces. I don't know how much it was. That was already got put in the freezer. And then from the beans that I did up, I've got 2 cups of cooked borlotti beans times 2. These are already cooked, so they're super easy to pull out of the freezer and use in recipes in the future. Soup! Ham soup, ham and bean soup, but I'm gonna throw some other stuff in. I've got carrots from the fridge, some shallots, small onions, some garlic. I might throw this leftover rice in there, these leftover veggies from ham dinner. Threw a lot of the ham in the freezer, but this is what I have left. I'm gonna boil this ham bone first. Try and get some cabbage out of here, and I don't have any chicken broth that I'm trying to use up, so this is the last beef broth that I'm trying to use up. I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna add some bacon fat because that seems like a good thing to have. And a ham soup, onions, and one of those shallots. I have a lot of garlic to use. I was excited about using up the last beef broth, but then I realized there's a half a one in the fridge still. So we'll use that one first. Ham bone. I'm gonna put water in to cover. I'm gonna boil that for maybe like an hour just to get the flavor from the ham bone and the meat off of the ham bone. Sorry, also gonna add the beans so they can cook a little longer. And I'm gonna add some mustard. I'm all over the map. I could add mustard seed, but I figure I've got mustard to use up, so I'm just gonna add some actual mustard. All right, this soup is looking really good. I've also picked the ham off of the ham bone. Those are the tastiest bits. Probably could have added a few more beans to this mix. I'm gonna call it ham bean soup. It has ham and beans. There we go. For dinner. This is such good soup. I was wondering about the rice that I dumped in there, but it seems to be fine. This is like perfectly, just dump all the food in and make a wonderful soup. It tastes so good. It's almost not soup season anymore. Gotta get my soups in because pretty soon it's gonna be salad season. So I've got some soup for lunch with bread. All right, this is the first time this has happened in the pantry challenge. I don't know. I haven't planned what to eat for dinner tonight, so I don't know. Maybe I'll make some kind of like taco-y thing. Little tiny tacos. What can I put in a taco? Pork would take too long to make like a pulled pork taco. Let's go look. Have to use something up from in here. So barbecue something taco. I don't have any easy chicken. I just have whole chickens. I'm not gonna do barbecue prawn tacos. I have steaks. Oh, I have ideas. Looks like I have 4 steaks. Barbecue, steak tacos. Well, here's some more rhubarb barbecue sauce. Try to use some of that up. Okay, I've put it together. We're gonna do 2 steaks with this rest of this rhubarb barbecue sauce. Got some Brussels sprouts out of the freezer. I'm gonna do them up with onion powder, garlic. Well, I'm gonna do them up with onion powder and some actual garlics and red chili flakes. Fry those up. And then I'm gonna use the rest of these Idaho and mashed potatoes. So that's what we're gonna do. Steak and mashed potatoes with Brussels sprouts for dinner. So I just halved the Brussels sprouts because I find that they fry better. 2 garlic cloves. I'm gonna throw in there some onion powder with oil, pepper flakes, I'm gonna add some regular salt and pepper. I think I am gonna have to open another one of these barbecue rhubarb sauce containers. That's awesome. I will need more of this. I've got about 3 servings of the potatoes, which isn't a ton. We'll finish off the box. It'll be amazing. more done than I would want it to be. The other steak is thicker. Not very many mashed potatoes, so that's my attempt to make it look like artsy. But there is a lot of Brussels sprouts. So there's my fancy, not very many mashed potatoes dinner. Used it up though. And I could have bread if I want. I have a feeling that the Brussels sprouts are gonna be my favorite part of this meal. They're super spicy and yummy. Cooked a little over. The other one looked better. I love that barbecue sauce. I can't wait for rhubarb season to make some more. There we go, steak dinner for tonight. Good morning. I have this one can of pumpkin, just one. There have been a lot of suggestions for pumpkin breads and specifically pumpkin muffins, but the very first suggestion of pumpkin muffins in this challenge was Samantha Dodd. So I am going to make Samantha Dodd's suggestion of pumpkin muffins. Cinnamon, nutmeg, and allspice, and cloves in oil, whole wheat flour, baking powder, and baking soda, and 2 cups of white sugar. And this is my last egg, but we got 2 dozen eggs from our farmer friend. $4 a dozen for farm fresh eggs. Look at them. Aren't they cool and multicolored? I like them so much. We need 3 eggs for this recipe and some salt. Pumpkin muffins today for breakfast. I will leave a link in the description below to the recipe that I'm using. It called for 3 cups of all-purpose flour. I'm gonna try it with 2 cups of whole wheat flour and 1 cup of all-purpose flour. 2 teaspoons of baking soda, half a teaspoon of baking powder, or 2 teaspoons of ground cloves, half a teaspoon, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. I feel like these are really spicy muffins. Like it's got a lot of spices in it. 2 teaspoons of nutmeg, 1 teaspoon of allspice. This is starting to smell really very good. 1 teaspoon of salt, and the 2 cups of sugar. Two-thirds of a cup of oil, 3 eggs, and 2 cups of pumpkin puree. Just mashing the stuff that came out of the jar. So that's 2 cups. It did make 2 cups out of that 1 quart of canned cubed pumpkin. And we just want to mix all this up really well. You could do more things if you really wanted it smooth, like put it in the blender, but I'm not going to do that. There we go, it's looking pretty good and it smells really pumpkin spicy. I'd say that I suspect this recipe makes 12 really giant muffins because I've got lots left. See, that's more than I would normally fill my muffin tin or muffin cups, and I still have some left over, so we're gonna have to cook some more after this. It definitely makes more than 12. This muffin looks pretty good. It's coming off the wrapper pretty good. Pretty crispy on top, but moist in the inside. I wouldn't even put butter on this. This is really nice. Yeah, somebody said it was coffee shop worthy, and I agree. Tastes just like some kind of thing you would get at Starbucks at Christmas time. These are gonna go fast. Thank you so much, Samantha Dodd, for the suggestion of pumpkin muffins. I think this will be a lot easier for us to eat rather than an entire loaf. Used up a ton of pumpkin. Yay, Samantha Dodd, thank you for the awesome suggestion of pumpkin muffins. For dinner tonight, I'm gonna do a slow cooker Mediterranean pork with couscous is the recipe. I'll leave a link in the description below. It's got a bunch of cool spices, rosemary, basil, some oregano and sage, marjoram, paprika, thyme, and garlic powder. The recipe says slow cook for 8 hours. I don't have 8 hours. Hi, maybe for all the 4 hours because I gotta get this done today. So, and then we're gonna have it over couscous. use up this couscous. Also, we need some chicken broth, but I'm going to use beef broth instead because that's what I've got to try to use up. 3/4 of a cup beef broth. There's still a fair amount left in there. 2 tablespoons of oil. You can use olive oil or whatever oil you want to use. There we go, it's all ready. Cranked it up to high. My kitchen light on this side just burned out and I don't want to climb up there right now and change it. So if it's a little dark, I'm sorry. So the recipe said take the pork out and shred it. I just have these little chunks of pork and they don't really, it's really hard to shred them. Pork loin, tenderloin is a pretty dry version of pork, so they aren't super moist, but the flavor of this recipe is really good. It smells good, and I really enjoy the flavor. I thought the sage would be a little bit too much, actually, but it actually tastes really good, and it's quite juicy. I like the combination of the spices in there. I'll probably put some salt and pepper in there. I love this couscous. It's so easy. Just bring it to a boil. Stir this in. Cover. And let it sit for 5 minutes. And then I just felt like having peas with it. These are our peas from the garden. You learn to appreciate peas when you have to shell each pea pod yourself. But they taste so much better. I just want to say I used up this entire box of couscous. I'm really happy about it. A bit of butter on the peas. There it is, Mediterranean pork with couscous and some peas. I do like it. I would make it again. So flavorful. Yeah, really flavorful. And the couscous cinched to make, and then add a veggie. Yeah, thumbs up from me. I'll leave a link in the description below for this slow cooker recipe. This is the main fridge freezer. Of course, I'm adding stuff to it. I have this zucchini loaf in here now, and then these cooked beans, the garlics. I kind of like added stuff to this freezer, but back in there, it's looking a lot thinner. I feel like it's less than it was. This is the deep freeze. We're chipping away at it. This is a roast. Still those cranberries. That's a ground beef pork blend. I could use that for some chili or something. This is just ground pork, sausage meat. And then there's one more pack of cubed pork, which I do actually want to use up. That could go. I'm thinking about doing whole chickens. I've got a lot of whole chickens down in there. I think that's probably next week. I want to do a 2-pack whole chickens. You know, just use up vegetables as I need to. There's no vegetable emergencies. These are my vegetables until my vegetables come in, except for the fresh carrots I have in the fridge and the potatoes downstairs. Crabby stuff and a couple of steaks, and now I have all this ham in here. This is the downstairs fridge freezer. It's not really changed very much. Again, I'm thinking I need to do a couple of these twin pack chickens. I am using up the ground cherries a little bit here and there, and the strawberries, and then these blueberries as well. The fridge is looking fairly sparse. I think I got rid of one mustard, so there you go. Still carrots. I don't even looked at the lemon. I don't even know. There's beef broth that I just opened. That's a sandwich. And then there's some more jars like applesauce that just got opened. And I could just eat this applesauce. That's not too hard. But again, still cranberry sauce. Still cranberry sauce. I don't know. There's some pickles. Still feta, green mayonnaise. And then I took out these little corn tortillas and didn't use them. So I'll have to think of something to do with those right away. And I did get another 2 dozen eggs. This week, if I keep going with this challenge, I really need cheese, and I'll probably buy some more milk. A little bit of low spending. The big deal is how bare this cupboard is. What I did was I brought out these containers from the $21 a week grocery challenge. I put flour. This is how much flour, the whole wheat flour I have, and this is how much rice I have. Still one of these Thai hot and sweet dips, rhubarb barbecue sauce, some more beans. Down here, molasses, Dijon mustard. I don't have Thousand Island or ranch. I've got only this Caesar salad dressing. So any ideas about Caesar salad dressing with maybe some cooked chicken? I still have a lot of jam. And then I don't think this lime jello would work in that crushy mousse that I made with the strawberry jello. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this. I might just make it up. It's my husband's favorite kind of jello. So he'll eat it. I think I'm gonna do one more week. I think we can do it. I've certainly got enough food. That's not the problem. It's just enough ways to try to use one of these ingredients in each meal that kind of gets harder and harder. I will see you next week. I think maybe a combination of using up this stuff and then also what I have learned from this pantry challenge this year. Kind of fun. If you like the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And subscribe for more videos from me. I'll leave links to the entire playlist here. You can click my face to subscribe, and don't forget to check out the join button. And I think maybe I'll leave a link to the original intro pantry challenge video. And if you're interested, because this series is going to come to a close eventually, if you're interested in my $21 a week grocery challenge, I'll leave a link to that up there as well. See you guys next week.